interview. She stated that after Debbie's murder, she couldn't stand being in the apartment, where everything reminded her of her daughter. She decided to move to another city, and as the years passed, the lack of progress in the investigation slowly destroyed her. She stated that her only goal now was to see the closure of this case before it is her turn to pass away. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible, as a few weeks after the interview, she passed away from cancer at the age of 78. She was laid to rest next to her daughter. The girl that witnessed the abduction at the age of 12 also spoke out in an interview. Sandra said she had never stopped blaming herself for what happened to Debbie over the years. According to her, she believed that she could have stopped the suspect and prevented the abduction and murder of Debbie, even if it meant she became the victim herself. In 2019, the police department received additional funding which enabled them to request a more detailed analysis of the young girl's clothing. This time, experts were able to extract a full DNA sample from it. Unfortunately, even with a full sample, their suspect's DNA wasn't in the FBI database. Debbie's father also gave an interview, and he shared that throughout the decades, not a day went by where he didn't think about his missing daughter. In fact, he kept a box of her photos, hoping to be reunited with his daughter in the afterlife. Unfortunately, in 2022, shortly after his interview, he passed away. That same year, detectives focused on the only lead they had, the DNA. They reached out to a company in Florida that specializes in an innovative DNA analysis method called genetic genealogy. The police gave them all of the biological samples they had collected over the decades and waited for the results. Experts in the company created a profile of the unknown man and began searching for any of his relatives in public genetic databases. They needed to find people who had uploaded their DNA because family members' genetic material has similarities. Modern tools can locate even distant relatives. After searching thousands of potential relatives of the suspect, investigators narrowed the search down to a family living in Marietta in 2023. They then asked the family for DNA samples, and they all agreed. The test showed that the assailant was one of their close relatives, so investigators looked into their family more closely. They found one family member that was the most likely suspect, a man named William Rose. However, he had taken his own life in 1974. This was only 2 years after Debbie's life was taken. Despite this, detectives were determined to finally close this case, no matter what. They obtained a warrant to dig up his grave, and experts took a DNA sample from his body. After 51 years, the police finally got a full DNA match. William Rose was a killer. At the time of the crime, he was only 24 years old